Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, I know this is another Mantle of Battle Harmony video, but trust me, this one's good. It basically incorporates a lot of the stuff that I've mentioned in my previous Battle Harmony videos, but perfects it. So we're going to be using an Osmosis kinetic. We're going to be making use of a really cool lasting impression Divinity strat, and also our elemental well based mods. So, starting off with the weapon, we have the escape velocity. I highly recommend grinding this because this is actually the only SMG in the game currently that has Osmosis. Every other SMG that had it got sunset, and almost every weapon with this perk has been sunset. However, because sunsetting is no longer a thing, this weapon will never get removed, which it actually was at the end of this season. So it being the last Osmosis SMG, you know, would have been sad to see it go. But now it's not getting sunset, so I recommend going and getting this because until they add a new one, which eventually they will, hopefully, this is the best thing you've got. So yeah, this is what we're using. Has Osmosis. Obviously we want this so we can make use of Absorption cells. So it's basically a mini recluse because it gets a damage buff. And it's an SMG, and the damage buff is pretty hefty, and you also only just need regular kills with it. So yeah, it's basically recluse. There's no like special thing with it. It's just get kills, and that's exactly what recluse was. It also lasts 10 seconds rather than 4 seconds that rampage would last, so it's better in the long run. And you can make it any element you want. You can make it arc, solar, or void, so it's got a bit of diversity there. Unfortunately, my second perk isn't the greatest. It's still good, but it is not amazing. You can get overflow here, however, so that would be phenomenal, because having like over 70 shots with Osmosis, you know, just nailing down enemies is super good. So yeah, that's that. Now, onto our div lasting impression strat. Basically, and I will show you this in a second after I've gone through my armor mods for this like build. Basically, if you fire lasting impression rocket on an enemy, it'll stay there for a while, right, until it explodes. Now with Divinity, and I highly recommend this when you're playing solo, and you know, obviously in this case you'd be on a Warlock, so you can't really debuff effectively. You can actually just stick an enemy with lasting impression, then switch to div and start up the div bubble, and then the rocket will explode and actually get bonus damage from div. You'll get crit numbers, and they'll be increased the amount that div increases them. So you can basically solo div anything in the game with lasting impression, which normally would not be the case. So that's super good. That's our weapon loadout, right? Perfect. You've got recluse, pretty much, and then you've got div last impression strat. In this case I'm using arc because, you know, div is arc, last impression is arc, so I'm using, oh, well, my heretic is arc. I could technically use anything else with lasting impression and it'd be the same thing, but if you get a kill with your rocket, like splash damage kills a random enemy with your rocket, and you switch to div, it'll actually buff div. So you'd be doing bonus damage with div. You would have lasting impression get bonus damage from div, and you'd just be doing more damage overall. It's super good. So yeah, I'll show all that soon. I want to get into the mods. Basically, we've got everything souped up for rocket launcher and charged of light stuff. Hand cannon ammo is here because unfortunately tracer rifle doesn't work. Technically I should be using SMG. Where is that? Yeah, let's use SMG. I could use this as well, because this actually does work with tracer rifles, but it's pretty irrelevant because it's div. It's not like anything really important. I do have Argent Ordnance, of course. This does stack with the charged or the elemental well mod that increases your damage, so this is really good. Obviously this is really good on a rocket launcher anyway, so you want this. I've got auto rifle loader, which works with trace rifles, of course. And I can always just switch that out if I'm using other weapons to get like unstoppable or barrier. It is what it is. Of course, rocket launcher. Now we do have elemental armaments. I did a video on this the other day actually. Basically it gives you a 5-second damage buff when you pick up a well. Actually no, this isn't the one that does that. This is the one that spawns the well. Never mind that. This is the one that spawns the well with just regular weapon kills. So I'll use my mini recluse, get a bunch of kills with it while it's arc. It'll drop an elemental well because I have Osmosis, and then I pick up the well and I can make use of this perk, the Font of Might, which, like I just mentioned, will increase your damage by 5 seconds. So, pretty good. This will work with any of the 3 weapons. If I get a kill with any of these weapons, it has a chance of dropping the well, and then I can pick up the well and do bonus damage. And that will stack with Absorption cells, that will stack with Div, it'll stack with everything. So, yeah. Super, super powerful. And then, if I'm not playing solo, I also have Focusing Lens. Someone else will, you know, stasis an enemy, and then I Focusing Lens to buff my abilities as well. So, I've got all this doing all its work with these, and then I also have my abilities doing more damage because of someone else. And of course here, again, Elemental Charge is to get charged so I can use Argent Ordnance. And then charged up puts that to 3, so I can use Argent Ordnance 3 times with Lasting Impression Div. So that's the loadout. That's the armor setup, that's the loadout. Now I want to show you Div and Lasting Impression in action, and a bit of Escape Velocity, Osmosis action too, just to kind of give you a feel of what this build will be like if you decide to try and use it. Okay, yeah, sorry for the cut there, I messed up the last recording, but let's get back into this. So, we've got our boss here. I am going to show off the Osmosis Escape Velocity first, basically Mini Recluse. You can see it just shreds through things. You get the 10-second damage buff that can be infinitely refreshed, and I mean, come on, by the time I run out of this, you know, I'm just going to kill another enemy anyway, and it'll just go right back up to 10 seconds. I mean, look at this. It's still at 10 seconds. I can just keep it going for ages and ages, and it won't run out as long as I'm killing things, which, for an ad-clearing weapon, you know, that's kind of the point. I'm going to leave one of those there. I'm going to leave this guy. Hopefully he gets close enough to the boss. Actually, he's quite far away. So I can try and proc Absorption cells with the Lasting Impression rocket launcher and Div. So let's try this. We got Div, we got Lasting Impression. So here we go. Bubble was around him, and you can see there 97k with yellow numbers. That's the whole idea. That is the whole idea of the build, or of Lasting Impression with Div. I'll try it again. I'll probably kill him before it goes up, but okay, there we go. 97,000. Very, very nice. Almost 100k with just the explosion, and obviously I have the impact damage on top of that. Very, very good. Throw a grenade, get Absorption cells, and get buffed. 10-second damage buff, or 5-second damage buff even. Well, it's just super, super good. It's kind of unbeatable, honestly. This build is very, very powerful in PvE for the average solo player, and for just someone looking for a unique build. I don't think I've ever seen anyone use this. So, you know, hopefully that changes. Let's get more people using something like this, because, you know, right now Div is only used for just boss DPS, which makes sense, but, you know, there's no added element to it. It's just shoot Div on the boss and have your friends do more damage. But now you can shoot Div on the boss and also do more damage yourself without, you know, losing anything. So, yeah. Just wanted to show this build, get this out here. Remember that this is not getting sunset anymore, so if you have this and was worried about it getting sunset, it's not happening anymore. If you don't have it, go get it. It's really good. That's all I have to say. Hopefully you enjoyed the build. Let me know if it can be significantly improved. And if you have any suggestions for making something like this work with other elements, because they can do. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. Again, thanks for watching, and adios.